works, positive synchronicity. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's another beautiful example. Perfect.
Yeah,
I
and
think
so
we're, yeah.
I know this is a little bit redundant, repetitive, yet we're over processing this information. It's really simple. Even my words are too much for me. Really, is if I'm excited, then it just shows up, and that includes the gallon of milk. On and on it goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's both of them are very. Those are excellent. Because so many people right now are at a kind of a brink of, I'd love to be able to move, or whatever it is, whatever the concerns are, there are always, just as blessings can come in different forms, whether they're positive or negative. Even the negative, there's a great opportunities for people in that area. So if a person who gets super sick, really, really sick and can't get out of bed, whether it's due to, whatever. So what are my alternatives? So, for example, a person who has, taken took the jabs or whatever, and now they're in bed. And no, they could go ahead and blame the government. They can blame, whoever they are, and still feel very angry within because they can't even get off of the bed. So what is their alternative to think positively? I'd like to give you that question for you. I'd like to hand that over to you. What would you do then? Yes.
Yeah, right. So immediately, the mom on the call, the couple on the call here, the married couple is saying, I've got 3 kids. I got ballet practice and I got mortgage, and I'm not really getting along with my partner, my husband. And by the way, how'd I get here? Okay. So everything I said is relationship to identity and the past, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So your next choice is to do it or not to, whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are you going to choose? That's all the advice I have. What are you going to choose based on your past experiences from the mind?
Mm.
Everyone is living a karmic life here because of your epigenetic recording system. Okay. History repeats itself because you keep doing the same things over and over again in timelines, what you're calling karma. Karma is alien technology. Yes, you have karma because you keep installing it and recording it in your genetics. And that your brain was designed, 100% designed to be abducted. That's this type of brain. This type of brain has so much memory and so much capability. And by the way, you've got a big old crystal in the middle of your head that's a swinging door to go abduct you. Everybody's so excited about finding their pineal gland, and I say, well, you're never going to learn how to use it because the door swings so quickly both ways. Now, once you calibrate and configure it properly, it works very good. So I don't want to make an absolute there, but for the most part, the brain is very tricky business, sorting between heart-based decisions and mind energy. We get some work done, did we?
So now it's up to us.
That's all Ascension is about. So even your Ascension words have been compromised. So you've been told you're ascending. I'm gonna ascend. When is it gonna happen? And of course, that's another timeline being created by aliens. See, these guys aren't in your physicality. There are plenty of aliens here that are dark, underground, doing all sorts of nefarious things, and in the physical, intrinsic. But the ones that are really doing the work here is the etheric, the ones you can't see. And they own the physical beings here on the alien side too. So as long as you have a name for a type of alien, and I use that word loosely because at some point all of us are an alien. What I'm doing my best to say is the dark can inherit any physical being that uses so much mind energy. That's what we should probably change the definitions from alien, dark, whatever. The dark doesn't care about the genetics. As an example, there's a reptilian clan that are some of the most beautiful individuals you'll ever meet. They're fascinatingly intelligent. The geneticist that they are is brilliant. They helped teach me to even talk at this level, and so their experiences are invaluable because they know that some of this technology is being used inappropriately, and now you get to play with artificial intelligence as well, and that's tough. Your big antenna on top of your head just can't stop listening unless you put it to work. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And that is the work with the put what to work? The light. The light doesn't think. Okay, remember that. Stop thinking, everyone, and you will find your heart. But we got things to do, Q. Here we go. Full circle, eh?
Yes. All the time.
All right. So what are we going to do? 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 What if we sing a song?
Yes. Why don't you sing a song?
Oh my gosh. I don't know any songs. See, isn't it easier being silly? Isn't it just like nothing's really matters? Nice. Let's do it. Let's do that one. That one's always fun. Okay, real quick. Mm-hmm. Nothing really matters. Anyone can see. Nothing really matters. Nothing really matters to me. Hope we're not getting old. That's getting old. Poor Freddie Mercury. He's rolling over his grave. That's a really good. That's really fun actually to start examining the past musicians. So the artists, primarily to get the art out, they use their heart to create it. So when you look at Prince, probably the greatest asset we had in the music industry to put it into words and then play it. Of course, the dark didn't like that. So if you look at the body of his work, he recognized identity was a problem, money was a problem, the expression of everything. Why do you think he made his house white? He was making fun of the White House, of course. And so that was the new White House, the Love Center, baby. And so, you start looking at these folks, they're all a little quirky too, right? Mm-hmm. They dance at their own. They beat at their own drum, don't they?
Yes,
that's because
absolutely.
This is what we all know. Once you get enough light in you, is everything has too many rules here. And there's a rule. There's no fun in the fun house, man. When you go on the trampoline, you got to go inside a net and everything. No, I want to fall off the trampoline. I don't want a safe trampoline. I want a dangerous trampoline. So that's the first thing most of us recognize when we get here is where do you step without blowing up? Everywhere we go, there's like another rule. And so we are doing a great job recognizing it, which will be the immediate distinguish. This is what's going to extinguish, and that is choosing things we prefer. And we're really fast at it. So this, if you look at how fast we're going, it is really impressive. So your disclosure process has been happening for 2,000 years, as you can see. Mm-hmm. So what's the next flavor of the day for duality to poke its head? And I purposely made a timeline for us to see what direction do you suppose they're going to try and steer us now? Where do you think they're going to try and steer us if we keep looking at these machines for past information? So we're going to call news now the past, right? So everything on the news, even really high quality, loving people, every time they put a podcast, including me, it's already over now, isn't it? So as long as I can get you to keep looking at this machine and relating to the past exclusively, another drama, another dogma, another anything, another belief, another belief, another belief, another Bible, another he said, she said. Everything is going great for the dark. Does that make sense?
Yes.
They don't even care. They don't even care if it's money. They actually don't even care if you have unbelievably positive emotions. They don't, as long as there is a timeline with reactionary emotional creativity, they love it. So if you are in a fight with some darkness, especially in your sleep, you say, hey, can we just make everything really fun and exciting instead of really down and out? And you'll see it actually works. I'm sure I've said that several times. Where else do you want to go, Miss Jane?
I don't know. That was a volume of love information that you just gave to us.
Yeah, I want us to tinker with it, and I'm really encouraging everybody to explain it better than I, because there's many people who are recognizing it now. Man, how did I get here? What was the band? The Talking Heads. This is not my big happy life. This is not my big fancy car, et cetera, et cetera. And so we start recognizing that most of these things are all reactionary, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yes, everything. Yes, absolutely.
And the beauty of it is we are climbing out of this pretty steady clip now. And, there's a couple places to start looking for our past expression of ourselves here in much better and longer winded explanation of ascension. Obviously we're always stricken by time here on the shows. If you follow, let's see, if you start looking around, you have to dig. You might have to physically, intrinsically dig. There's archaeologists now that have uncovered a lot of material for us all, and so I'm going to be careful not to endorse any one person or group, but start looking for people who have some legacy genetics from some of the cat races, lion races, Lyrian races, and you'll see. So some of those genetics in our physicality have bled through and helped us get more light in us. I've noticed that race of beings, that still a portion of us is in this type of mammal. There's others too, not exclusively, but if you see people that there's archaeologists that really represent themselves with lion beings and so forth. A lot of those genetics are still kind of chinking around. Anyway, there's archaeology digs in Mexico that now you should be able to find just straight up images of beings in etheric, electromagnetic etheric transportation vessels. We're calling them flying saucers. Mm-hmm. Not really, but they have a lot of artifacts coming out. And what's interesting to me is there's still, in the past, weeks ago, still a lot of governments fighting this information, and it's for reasons you wouldn't expect. You'd say it's to control the development. It's really they don't have enough knowledge to explain it to the public, which makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? So let's just say the head of archaeology in whatever country is getting all this artifacts up in the ground. They're not prepared to talk about ascension, let alone the technology that they're uncovering, let alone the explanation of the technology and the geographic relationship to your planet, let alone that every one of these people and beings that they're uncovering has an explanation that they really can't translate and tells the story in imagery. And that's why imagery in all of your legacy artifacts was so broad, because they knew that the next ascension cycle may have an entirely different race of beings that spoke an entirely and or understood entirely different body of information. Makes sense now, doesn't it?